and then I'm going to give you some examples also as well of what we were doing.
Okay,
Um,
awesome.
let me just get
Where
your
where are you
question.
at? You seem like you're in the pool. What's the weather like wherever you're at?
Summer, so it's hot here. So
Yeah,
in South
yeah.
Africa, it's southern hemisphere. It's going to autumn now or fall, and it's not cold yet. So I mean, we're looking at still summery type of weather. And I just decided, you know what, fuck it. Let me before I jump in with you, let me jump in the pool quickly.
That's nice. I mean, so I that's been part of my goal is to get down to Florida because I'm in Massachusetts and even right now Massachusetts the sun's out but it's freezing cold. So not freezing but it's freezing for most people. It's like 40 degrees, so 50 degrees.
Oh, no worries. What I am going to do is in September, I'm going to be in Florida. So I'm definitely going to be that side of the world. I'm going for the PPD conference. I don't know if you know about
Is
that.
it Miami?
Let me just see. I think it will be in Miami, Florida. Let me just double check for you.
And I don't know that specific conference. I know all the big conferences are typically in Miami, maybe St. Petersburg.
The Vault Conference, hosted by Patrick McDavid.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
know what that is.
at Palm Beach Center, at Palm Beach Convention Center. So it's at West Palm Beach, Florida. So I will be
Oh,
there.
that will be gorgeous. I guarantee you'll like that a lot. It's beautiful over there.
Yeah, man, this guy is like I would say one of my mentors in building my business and businesses. So, fuck, this guy's not been talking shit ever since found his stuff on YouTube, and it's only this year. I mean, no lie, last
Yeah.
year. And Alex Omosi stuff also from last year. There's very few people that I have like as my own mentors that actually help me mentor myself and guide me to build my business to where it is right now. So yeah, I'm gonna get into some of the questions. I'm gonna zoom this
Yeah.
thing in so I can see this thing much more nicer. Yeah, because I'm putting the stuff here on a 4K screen, and there we go. That's more nicer. So Isa, have you started out recently now for yeah, in the network selling your digital agents, or how long are you in the game now?
So, I mean, that's the thing is, I had a business prior in the cannabis industry, which is like gray area legal. We had grows, we had all that stuff. So I've been doing business stuff for a while since I was like 18, and I'm 25 now. But the network mastery stuff, I purchased that 2 months ago at most. So I've been my friends are in social media marketing. One of my buddies is doing 35K a month. So like that's kind of where I got the advice. He's like, hey, go purchase a group of something that looked interesting and network because that's kind of how he made it happen. So I'm still like trying to make my first sale. And as he was saying, and what I can clearly tell is that's kind of the hardest part. So
Usually is. So usually sales is the hardest part, and I don't know if you've seen any of the WAP videos that Brayon has on sales. If you can,
yeah,
go as fast as you can through that. Just make a whole bunch of notes. So what I do is when I go to in a typical scenario, if I go to a client, and usually we'll do this face to face. I don't like doing things online anymore, because you just get this personal
yeah,
touch. And I do what I call, even Michael, my partner, Michael Martin, the other guy from the network that was also so successful here in South Africa. He's
yeah,
seen me do this. So what I do is I call the Brian persona. Then I'll just quickly shut myself down. I'll start talking
yeah,
deeper. I'd start slow, making things more slow and more articulated, and then this is how I would go into the meeting. Like, hi, I'm Red. Nice to meet you. How you doing? And then obviously depends on what I'm selling. Know what I'm selling
yeah,
to the customer. Know what industry they are in. Make a joke when you first of all come in there. Write something silly. Let's say, like with Envision Africa or Vision, no, Vision, let's say Vision Insurance. There were a whole bunch of ladies that were there, and I would just go in. I went there, and the first lady I met was Nadine, and I knew she was into bikes and stuff like that. So I told her,
yeah.
Hey Nadine, nice to meet you. I heard you into bikes, but my bicycle's not working. How do I put a motor on it so I could go bike riding with you, type of thing? And she's like, no, you can't do that. So something stupid, you throw them completely out, but then they just laugh, and you say something like that will completely get them off their game, because they'll always come meet you all serious. Immediately when they laugh, that's when you got them. That's
Yeah,
one of the
and
first steps.
so I'm like, I'm very on board with that, and that's so fun. That's what I've always been good at, is kind of the personable type stuff. In the cannabis industry, I grew cannabis. I knew everything about it. So when I got that's a big problem I'm having now, is like, even getting on this call, I don't come in very confident. And like back in the, like when I was doing the cannabis stuff, I was like, we were doing big deals, big people consulting stuff, and I was really confident. So I come in, make a joke, put people at ease a little bit, and then start to talk business a little bit. And
Mm.
that is something that I've always noticed has definitely worked. So I definitely need to get like the competence to where I'm just not anxious when I get on a call or get to talking to somebody, you know?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's something you definitely have to work on, but it takes time. But usually, the best way you would get to know your client is to know what industry they are in. Like I have almost no idea what's going on in the insurance industry, but all I could tell
Yeah.
them was in the insurance industry they always worry about repo rate, because that's one of the biggest churning points of why people stop insurances. So I used to, so in our meeting also with Vision Insurance, I actually went to them and said, hey, yeah, repo rates again going up. Oh no, you guys gonna churn clients? And then they already immediately thought, oh wait, this guy knows what he's talking about. And then
Yeah, exactly. Build a little trust, kind of do some research.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That always works. Get to know your client before anything else. So stalk them on Facebook, stalk them on LinkedIn, see who you're going to talk to, see what their background was, and then you tell them like, so and you tell them, so I stalked you a little bit on Facebook. I know you into this, and now you start speaking to them, because they end up laughing. They'll think because it's business, you're not some sort of weirdo. So you'll come in there, if you can, try and dress up in at least a suit, or like make it quite personable, but try and come as a professional as you can. So come in like in a decent jacket, look as professional as you can, like what I'll try and emulate is PBD, Patrick Bet David.
Yeah.
And then I'll come in there and shake the hand, firm handshake, look them in the eyes, do the proper thing, pull them closer to you if they taller than you, type of thing, and then get them right in there and say, okay, this you're gonna dominate this whole thing now, and don't do this fish what's it, like a wet fish type of fucking handshake. You do a proper firm handshake, look them in the
Yeah,
eye,
yeah.
and say, this is
Yeah.
this is what's going to happen now, because you have to be firm and demanding in that meeting. Once you've obviously introduced yourself, you do that firm handshake, and then you slap them with a joke, because then they all the barriers that they have breaks down immediately, and now you get into the sale.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, I completely agree with that. That makes sense.
yeah. So another person I would say that's damn good with sales, and that I've been watching, it's even up my sales stuff from where I thought it was good with Brian, was Andy Elliott. I don't know if you've seen any of his stuff on YouTube. Watch his stuff on
Oh,
YouTube. Yeah,
okay.
watch his stuff.
I have.
He's, I don't know. I think he's the best fucking machine I know of that's in sales.
Okay.
And watch all of his improv sales stuff where he doesn't know anything about it, but you'll see he'll bring most of the knowledge base close to what he knows about something, and that's relative to the person. The thing is, you just need to relate to them, and the whole idea of selling is selling on emotion. So make sure that you get them emotionally involved. So let's say, for instance, if you are doing B2C, you tell them, okay, let's say one of the biggest objections is that they can't afford it, and you ask them, first of all, they got onto the call, so you know already, or they met with you, so there's definitely some sort of interest. Now you'll ask them, remember there was probably a time where something meant more to you than money did. Let's say, for instance, your kid was sick in hospital. You knew for a fact that that money meant more to you, at that, I mean, the your kid means more to you at that time than anything else and what money would be, right? So you would spend that money regardless of what. Then you tell them, this is, again, this is one of these situations. You know this is gonna save you X, Y, Z. This is gonna make you X, Y, Z. And then, as an example, why wouldn't you want to spend that money? Because you know you're going to get a return of investment. So,
Yeah.
uh, do you think this is then this is definitely one of the situations where it's worth more than the money? So what are we waiting for? Let's sign. Let's get to it. Usually
Yes.
you'll get them to smile, but then you immediately you put them in that sort of persona, that emotional point, and then bam, you got them.
Yes, that completely makes sense, and that is something that I've like lost my confidence with in terms of like the sales thing. What I used to do, I knew so much about it, and it was easy for me to describe. Look, if we do a consulting, we come to your grow, it might cost 10 grand,
Mm,
but you're gonna make another 10 or 20 a month. So what the like that type of thing. So that makes sense.
mm.
And get them into an emotional state is something I need to work on. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I think your biggest thing then, I would say, just get a mirror, stand in front of that mirror, and then just practice these sales techniques. Just watch Andy Elliott stuff because I've been starting to do that, and then just write down a few of his sales techniques. Like one of the thing is the emotional buy. Obviously, what's what does it mean to be have something that's worth more than money at that time? You sell them that they, I promise you, even if they can't afford it, they will buy that damn thing.
Yes. Yes, that makes sense. That's something I need to work on a little bit for sure.
Alrighty. So let's get into some of your questions. So you said, what is the products that we have success? One of the most, well, the most value success. Which products do you have the most success with and provide the most value? So right now we've delved a lot into the large language model section of AI, right? And we provide a service called AI in a box. And on top of that, we do custom APIs on top of the LLMs. And I'm actually gonna give you an example of this now. So let me actually spin this code up for you. Uh, let's see, this should be fine. I'm gonna send you a link now. Let's see quickly. Where's WhatsApp? Because I know I have WhatsApp. No, not that. I don't want to waste your time. I want to make as much progress with this. Break. Not the. This should be live. So if I do this, I just want to do a test quickly because I just spun it up now for you. Oh, so 76176. Oh, that's running on the Okay. Hold on, let me just kill this, kill one of the other large language model stuff that's running, and now that should be running now in this old 760. Okay, great stuff. Almost gave away one of our biggest paying stuff as well, but I'll still introduce you to that. So you can do this. I'm gonna send this link to you here. You can hit that on your machine. I want you to go into that, and this is one of the custom tools that we've done for people. So if you do go on there, let me just see. Oh man, what am I doing? Let's go back to Discord. I'll open it on my side here on this side. And I can actually. Okay, just let me know when you're on the site.
I'm on the side where it's enter website,
Yeah.
the website address.
So SEO. So we sold this to a firm called Ignition. This is actually now our biggest
Okay.
seller. This, as of today, is our biggest seller. So this is our online SEO and web query tool using a large language model. Using the large language model on our server, that's on my server right now. And what you can do in there is you can type in a web address. Let's say your web address of, let's say, I'll give you an example, re3ai dot co dot, oh no, it's dot com. And you can actually select in the options there. This thing will actually do
Yeah.
an SEO audit for for that website. It will do evaluation, it will do analysis, and then you can actually, if you click on the fourth option, you can actually ask a whole bunch of things about the website. Like ask who's the competitors, what is this website about, what's it built on. You can really interrogate this thing. This is all via a large language model. So you put in a website, it will spit out exactly what you want. So let's say you're trying to build your website, you're trying to rank it higher on Google. Immediately you'll get your suggestions. It will go through your entire website, scrape it, and then the language model will tell you, okay, do this, do this, do this. It will be then you'll be able to rank better. If Google somehow changes the way our SEO works on their side, like with tags and meta tags and things like that,
A lot from what I ever changing. Like that's like what it means to be an SEO person. You got to keep up with it, huh?
this doesn't need to. It does it by itself. So it interrogates the sites and learns, okay, these are the new things, these are the new trends. Yes, now it's ticking. And this we've sold now for, in terms of rands, about 2.2 million rand, which is, if I had to do it divided by 20, I think that's 110,000 US.
Really?
Mm.
You're saying that's how much you sell it one time for? Or you're saying that's just how much you produce with this?
No, we sold it one time to a client.
No shit.
Hmm?
See, that's unbelievable. And it's so simple. Like the user interface is so simple, but the back end of this is incredibly useful, huh?
Yeah, just because it always keeps up with anything changing on SEO. Now you don't need to hire a SEO person. So why we ask that much? I mean, if you had to pay somebody in SEO for a year, you'd spend maybe 200,000 US on this
Yeah.
in a year.
Yes, 100%.
So
Yes.
you just saved yourself 100 or what, 90,000 US dollars.
Yes, and that's a pretty easy sale, especially if you get them emotional about it.
Exactly.
Because that's a lot of money. I know the SEO. Everybody talks about it like it's a mystery to them because it changes so much. But that's unbelievable. Okay.
Yeah, so why do I need to hire a person to do this ever again? Now I have it on at my fingertips. It does it constantly all the time. And actually give it a test, see how quick it is. Put in a website there. Put in an option. I'm gonna show you now how quickly this thing does SEO.
See, I'll put in my buddy's website.
Go for it. Only problem is we're still working on the Cloudflare solution. If it is fronted by Cloudflare, it's gonna have a lot of blocks in there, but it's still gonna pull as much as it can.
And now this is stuff that do you have, or I mean, that's part of the questions that are in there. Did you build this like entirely by yourself?
Yep.
Yeah, and you spend most of your time building or selling?
Spend most of the time building because we'll find an example um, of something going not right in the industry, and we'll think, well, how can AI fix this? And one of the things that we're actually working on, and this is just for you, this recording. Okay, you know what? I'll ask you, can we share this recording with the network because they'll want to know about this as well.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Alrighty. So, we're not under any NDAs yet. We're building an MVP for another client also, and it's a API interrogating tool, and self manipulation tool. So think of the banks. So think of you as a payment gateway. Um, each time that you want to make a payment, it has to connect to a bank, right? So think of how many banks it needs to connect to in your area, for instance, all the different type of banks that payment gateway will have to connect to make sure that you get
Yeah.
paid, or and so forth. So each time bank A makes a change onto their API, immediately you have to get a development team of like 40 people to quickly make sure that the API is testing and that you can get it working as fast as possible so that you can take payments to that bank. Correct?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've built an API interrogating tool where it will search for bank A. It will pull bank A every 2 minutes and ask him, this is the schema of the JSON that's coming in. This is currently what it looks like. If there's any changes, throw the new changes into a Mongo database, and then send that new changes to an API to the API worker that's there, and automatically change it on the fly within 80 seconds. So every 80 seconds, if there's a change in the bank, it will know about it, change it here, and your payments will still go through.
No way.
So you don't need to. So that's replacing 40 developers. What do you think I'm gonna sell that thing for?
Quite a bit.
I'm going for.
I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know if I could pull enough my ass for that, but
no,
yeah.
we're gonna sell it for $1 million US.
Yes, that's unbelievable. And now, how is this understanding what's going on their back end? I guess that's a pretty technical question. I'm not extremely. How is it picking up on what's going on in their back end? That's open.
Yeah. So obviously they have a secure connection to the backends, right? So they have an agreement with the bank, so they get a test API or a test link where they can actually see and interrogate this, and that's all we need. So
Really?
yeah, and then then usually the guys will come to me, the payment gateway guys will come to me and ask me, so how does this work? Because they don't understand, and we'll tell them a LLM is like a brain, like a human person brain. All you do is you interface with this sucker. It will tell you exactly what it needs to do, and now all you need to do is just change it into a way you can consume that information into a worker, and that's what we call worker APIs, and that's what we sell on top of the AI in a box solution. So we'll give them the option of, we'll put an AI in a box thing right down there. You just pay once of cost. That's about 57,000 US for the AI in the box, and then we'll build this LLM with this API on top of it, and then we'll sell that API on top of it as a service to them. And then we'll just do monthly incurrence costs on the LLM's AI in a box thing. So we'll do a 3,000 a month maintenance cost each time. So we just get somebody that goes into their place, because it's a secure thing. It's only intranet based, and it will, if it needs to be internet based, then they'll do the internet pipeline. But then it's secure on their side, so it becomes HIPAA compliant. Then all of a sudden, good.
Yes. It checks all boxes. That makes a lot of sense.
Exactly, and that's what you want to sell them. You tell them, OpenAI and Google's Gemini is not HIPAA compliant, and then they're like, it's like, exactly. So if I can sell this to medical clients, what do you think about you? And they know, okay, sold, done.
Yes, medical clients, finance, anybody with the secure data that they're very wary about you touching
Exactly.
or
So
having.
one of the easiest ways to sell this is to tell them, what happens if you have a leak? How much is that gonna cost you in lawsuits? It's like, oh, okay. And then they say, well, this box is 57,000 US. Is a lawsuit gonna cost you 57,000 US? No.
That's gonna cost a lot.
Done. Sold. So then I just say, okay, so where do you want to sign up? When do you want to box? And when do you want it? When you want your first iteration?
Yeah. Confident at that point.
Done. And it's sold. So this is where it comes into the LLM space. Yeah, no, a lot of people's not gonna try and test this site thing. Oh yeah, I see you using the same site. So yeah, using the same site, and you can check the results also that you're getting, and you see the speed
Yeah.
how quickly it gets it.
It gave it less than a minute.
Yeah, like I think the average time is 24 seconds to 38 seconds.
Okay. And now when you're training your AI, how long is that taking you typically to train something like this?
So we don't actually train the AI. We don't train the models that we use. We'll use existing models that is already capable of. If we do need to do any training, we'll do what we call a LoRa. So it's a low ranking adaptation. So think of it as a lens, like a big light, and you're shining the light against the wall. How'd you get that light to become a laser? So you put on the laser cap in the front, right? And then we'll get a
Oh,
that's what a LoRa is. So we'll train the loader based on the data that they give us, and then we'll slap the loader on top of the LLM, and boom, you have a perfect product. So now
And
it's
it okay,
now,
that's unbelievable. Just from putting a specific data in front of it and having it go over it, it starts to understand what you're looking for.
exactly.
Okay, wow. All right, you're kind of blowing me away here.
Yeah. So now you know what real AG this is, and we actually tell them we're not an AI company anymore. We're an AGI company because we build your workers.
Which is sexy in of itself when you tell them that.
Oh yeah, and they fall and they just, oh my god, AGI. What's AGI? It's like, it's artificial general intelligence, and then what does that mean? It's like, think of yourself. If I had to clone yourself doing all your mundane tasks and some of your complex tasks also. So I'll give an example also. Let's take your lawyer. Let's take your lawyer buddy here. He has to look at all those documents. He has to build documents up based on certain criteria, right? How long does it take him to turn around, let's say for instance, a contract that you'll have to do for a new client? And I'll say maybe a day, 2 days. So what if this thing could do it exactly how he does his things in 20 seconds?
Yes, they'd say yes. They'd be like, I would like that.
And so now you can scale, because now you can do 50 contracts in this in still less time than what that person would do one contract. And you can go through iterations if you want also. You can have a person that's not even qualified. You can have a junior just to vet the things to say, okay, is this correct? Done. Now you're not paying a guy a huge salary. Now you're paying a junior.
Yes, 100%. And that's what the world is going to look like in the future. And you're already kind of ahead of the curve. So that's kind
Exactly.
of beautiful. This is what everybody's talking about. That's very interesting.
Exactly. So let's get back into more of your questions because we're going through a lot of information here, and we're not even touching your questions, because I know that's probably.
I'm answering so many already. As we go over this, a lot of things that even that might not be written down, you're kind of hitting. So that's good.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, yeah, I wanted to give you as much good information in this time span as possible. Try and get you set up as much as possible. So yeah. Let's see. What's your second question? It seems like system automation analysis tools provide a lot of value. So yeah, if I had to give an example, one product that we actually sold, we keep upselling this person or this company. Envision Africa is the company. This used to be our biggest seller. So Envision Africa is at 1.6 million rand, which is at what 16.8. I think it's 80,000 US now. We made from them. About 82,000 US we made from them. And what we first started off was with a document management system. We just use a LLM to read information, just plug it into their emails, look at the attachments on the info email, and then read the attachment, understand where it needs to go to, and send it to the right person. And it has a list of six emails it needs to go to send through. So the secretary that used to read through the info emails, her entire job is now made null and void, because that's what she did all day.
Yeah.
So now she's
Yes.
working on other things now. It's more meaningful. She actually got an increase because of us. But at the same
Yes.
time, the company's turnaround time on replying on documentation is much more faster. It's now it was where a document used to take a week to get to the right person. Now it's as soon as that thing comes through, it's there.
It's there. A week to less than like a few minutes.
Not even a minute.
Not even a minute. That's yeah.
So,
That's unbelievable.
so essentially, what you want to do in the AI automation space, you're trying to sell them time. So there's two things in the world that people go for. It's either making them money, saving them money, or saving them time. And in our space, in the AI automation spaces, what you're always gonna sell them is saving time, because that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna tell them, this is the time machine I'm selling you. And a good example of what I'm going to sell you is, remember the portraits, how people used to paint portraits of people. How long did that take? Did you have to sit in a chair and they took to paint your portrait? It used to take forever, until the person came along with a camera and they instantly snapped you. Boom. That just changed hours of time into seconds. That's the current space you're in right now when you deal with us.
Yes.
And that's one of the selling
Yeah.
points that you, and luckily, well, this is recorded so you can just watch this over and over and over.
Absolutely going to.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's go to the third question. What do you wait? Which do you see are the most beneficial to customers? I don't know. So it also depends. So a lot of the things in the AI network, people were going on niches, right? And I never actually got that because I always thought, you know what, if you have a solution to a problem, it's not going to be necessarily niche specific. Yes, you can learn the niche background of the industry that you're going into, but usually the problems are all the same. And it's always,
Yeah.
how do you save them time? And that's like the SEO example thing. Now I don't have to ask, hey, here's 3,000 US. Please check my SEO. Please give me SEO suggestions and make changes to the website. Then you give the changes to your website developer, and then they need to make that, and you check the ranking after 2 to 3 weeks. Now it's all that 2 to 3 weeks work is now changed down to
Yes.
small time. And now
Even
that
give that to a. You could even give that to a guy that does SEO for a living to make his life easier, or someone that's a lawyer, or someone that runs their own website. Doesn't matter.
yeah.
That makes sense.
So we're gonna sell this also to we're gonna sell the SEO tool to Re3 AI for their AI hub stuff, and I know we're gonna sell that also for about 2 million, maybe a million. Yeah. Well, we'll still work on a price there.
Yes. That's awesome. That makes sense.
Yeah, R1 million. So think of it divided by 20, US. It's maybe about 50,000 US, 50,000 to hundred
Yeah.
thousand US. We will sell the SEO bot to them.
That, and that's maintenance is with all your products or no?
Every product, because we'll make sure that there's always a monthly cost, so that covers at least like my developers, they can just go in once per month into this client. So we've got 4 clients right now with AI in a box solutions, and each one of them, they just need to, I mean, they're gonna pay, each one of them are paying 3,000 to 4,000 US per client, and that's enough for their salary.
Yeah.
One of them
Why
is
not?
enough. One of them is enough for their salaries, like 3,000 US. Okay, cool. That's your salary, and then they just need to go once per month, go say hi, blah 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 blah. Connect to the box, do an update. They'll come with a flash drive because I told them this is your secure flash drive. This is what you're coming in with. No laptop, nothing like that, because we want to give the impression that this thing is secure. So that's all you need. Bring in your ask them, okay, option, give them, you have an option to log in there at their place at the station, and then do everything from there. Done.
Yes. Yes. That entirely makes sense.
And it's half an hour once a month.
Yes. That $3,000 for that is plenty. They can run their side hustle or whatever else they do in their free time.
Exactly. And then the
Yes.
rest
That's all.
the rest is
Did you say net?
net profit.
Oh, net. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right, let's see. What's the most optimal way to close your first deal? Okay, I think we spoke about that already, like sales
We went
techniques.
over.
Mm.
Yeah. Some of these they're going to be a little redundant.
No, it's fine. Let's go through them, man. It's not a problem. Even if we go over time, it's okay. You mentioned running your own LLM. I think we've given examples also about that now.
Yeah.
How would you recommend I make my first sale? Okay, we've gone through that also. Um, unless you want to know more other techniques of how to make your first sale.
No, I guess in terms of getting in touch, we've gone over kind of the sales process in itself. Getting in touch with that first client. Free website. I can make a website, no problem. I've been doing the LinkedIn outreach a bit. Would it make more sense just to find someone, like we had talked prior about some potential warm leads that I had? Would it make more sense to approach them with this kind of stuff?
So a lot of the things that I started off with was how I started making my first sales was literally warm leads. So I did this Alex Hormozy challenge, And I don't know if you're doing the Jofu challenge, but try and figure out and do the Jofu challenge where you have to do a Loom video, I think once per week or two Loom videos. I know he's doing two Loom videos a day for
Yeah.
products, and Jofu's damn successful. Jofu and Ben are killing it. They've got too much work,
Yeah.
but they swing for the
Yeah.
fences as well. They do products up to 30,000 US. And I told them, why are you stopping at 30,000, dude? There's 100K sales here, 200K
Yeah.
sales. Yeah, so on some personal calls we'll get to that also. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, they're swinging for the fences. They're going nuts, which is good. Yeah. So also, let's just look at the question again. What we recommend? Okay, so you already know. Okay, what your first sales are gonna be more or less. One thing I want you to get, one word I want you to get out of your vocabulary is chatbots. You no longer
Yes.
you no longer use chatbots when you come into a sale or to a person which is going to be a sale, and every person that comes in front of you is from now onwards going to be a sale. You tell them, we don't do chatbots. We do digital agents, and we
Digital.
yeah, we do digital automation services. If you want a chatbot, go pay for a chatbot. That's $10. It's not going to cost you much. You want something that's
Yes.
actually going to give you a return of investment and save your time? Work with me, digital agents.
Yes, that makes sense. I mean, that's what's funny about all this is I have been sitting down. I've been like shadowing a guy that does subprime loans. Guy's multimillionaire, he has all sorts of business going. I'm watching him close deals, and it turned into him trying to hire me because he. I mean, I wasn't just talking about chatbots. I was showing him automations. I was showing him all this different stuff. But like,
Mm.
I did show him it, and it was the funniest thing because he's like, "Why would I? I don't care about this damn widget." And I'm like, "Well, okay, I guess that makes sense." And so I was like, I'm trying to get down to the bread and butter of what provides value because that even it could provide a lot of value, but for him, especially for him, he doesn't have anybody going on his website talking to any old school. So it's kind of a mix of things. That makes sense.
So you said he's in leads, right? He's a salesperson.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I'll tell you what. Ask him what the salary would be. Tell him to make the salary at least 10K a month, and then you tell him you're gonna build him a digital agent that's gonna do leads capture because he knows he turns leads into money. Leads for
Yes, that's
him,
all.
and this is an easy sale for you. So what you can do is you can get onto VoiceFlow. I'll give you a VoiceFlow template of where you can do some sort of digital capturing of a service. So let's say, for instance, he's selling a car. Now, when you hit the website and the digital agent comes up, and it will ask some questions like, well, the person will ask you coax for questions. So you coax them, hi, you give it the persona as well. So you say, hi, I am this person. Nice to meet you. How can I help you today? Is there anything you'd like to see in our lot, or do you want to know anything about our inventory? Coax them with something like that, a probing question of something that's on your website, pique their interest, because once they hit the website already, you sort of know what they're looking for. So you tell them,
Yeah.
in our inventory, do you want to know anything about that? Because immediately they're going to say yes, blah 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 blah, and then you get it to answer that first question. You ask it a second question: is there anything else you'd like to know? And immediately on that second question, and this is how we did the digital agents. I've actually moved away from that now. You would ask them the second question, but you wouldn't answer the question correctly. You would say, you'd acted like this person's a secretary and say, I'm so sorry, I can't answer your question. Like immediately, it doesn't matter what the answer is or what the question is. You'll just say, listen, I'm sorry, I can't exactly answer your question. Would you like me to get somebody in sales or somebody more technically known about this product, and to contact you? And then you can't,
Yeah.
and then that's how you coax them for the lead information, and that's how you get a lead. That's leads capture
Okay.
and leads
Instead of
generation.
getting the instead of getting their name right off the bat, having that put on Excel, it kind of gets them answering, talking a little bit, and then kind of swoops in and says, "Hey, let's get you on the phone."
Yeah, boom, and then immediately when that happens, you'll have a Zapier or Make API at the back end of your voice flow. So once they answer that question of getting all that information, poof, send that through the API, push it to an email or push it to a salesperson that they contact that person immediately. And the faster, because it's a hot lead, the faster you can get that turnaround time, you'll get always fucking sales. And that's how you're gonna turn that sales guy. You're gonna tell him this. I'm gonna make you more money.
Yes, that makes sense. I'll bring it up to him. This guy, it's been funny hanging out with him because he's making a bunch of money, closing a bunch of deals, but he's an absolute maniac. So like he's like very old school. So I will show that to him, and I'll try to I'll see what he has to say about it. But he doesn't use the damn computer as much. Like he's networked, he bounces around like talking to bankers, doing things. So I'll bring it up.
I mean,
very hard.
what you can do if he uses WhatsApp on his phone, because he's probably on his phone all the time. Why don't you push the lead to his phone via WhatsApp?
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's gonna just go old school. I'm gonna phone this client. I'm gonna close him.
Exactly. That's exactly right. He's on his phone all day. He's not great at the computer. He's great on his phone. That's all he does. And his website doesn't have SEO. His website doesn't have ads. It doesn't have the people are all like connections. Boston's very financial, and so it's people he already knows from growing up and all that nonsense. The golf club, golf course that he goes to.
But that's what I'm saying. This is an easy sale. You can make a fuck ton of money with him. Easy. And he'll be smiling because he's just gonna see leads, because to him leads is money.
Yes, that's all he sees. That's literally all he sees. That and chicks. He's trying to get me to get him chicks, and he was trying to get me to do sales calls for him. The other one we can't help with.
So I'm definitely seeing you in September in Florida then, eh?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I'm gonna be in Florida regardless. My mom lives up in Naples, so I bounce back and forth.
Right, cool. Right, let's go through some more questions. How many freelancers do you typically? Well, we actually have our own dev team, so there's no freelancers anymore. We used to do the whole Upwork Fiverr thing, and I just said no. The only thing that I need to do now that I need to get for freelancer is I need a iOS developer, because I have to push an app out on the iOS store. I'll give you. Once we're done with the recording, I'll give you a little bit of an example of what's going on there. I don't want everybody to know about this baby before it gets released. This is we're gonna be first to market on this.
Okay, I'm talking about that as well.
So what is your typical offer? So like currently our typical offer is AI in a box, and this is the solutions that it can provide. And one thing it's definitely going to do is going to save you time. And at minimum, if you just use the chat feature and you have your people just chatting with it, it's going to increase their production time by 37%. And that's a known fact. And I can send them the Entrepreneurs Association, so a global association of just CEOs that connect to this, and the stats are all there. I can give them the slide. So if you want that slide, I can send that to you.
Yeah, any material, yes, I want it. I'm gonna listen to this recording 1,000 times. Keep process. Maybe book it. Oh, we keep shooting the shit.
No man, no worries. You can keep messaging me also. We can always set up more time as well to go through more in depth stuff. So we can do like a second session, but then we're gonna get more technical and more in depth of either the sales or the technical side of things. Either way.
Exactly.
So do you have any products that have a retainer? All my products have retainers. Everything.
Yep.
Everything. Maintenance, cost. With VoiceFlow, if you do something with them on VoiceFlow, make sure that your VoiceFlow is just your development box, and that they pay for at least $150 per month for their VoiceFlow account, because that's what they're going to do. Then you're going to make sure that you put it on. We use ChatGPT 3.5 when we used to do the VoiceFlow stuff, and the token, the temperature and the token length also was, I think we had it at 70. But make sure that when they get close to going out of tokens, so you always have a retainer of, instead of like in terms of base cost, use $200, because then you have $50 of tokens that you can buy additionally on top of the 2 million tokens each time, just to make sure that they don't run out. But at the always have wiggle room. So it's a CYA rule that I always use, is cover your ass.
Yeah.
and that's part of the base cost. So at minimum, you cannot sell any product less than $200 because that's at least your base
Yes.
costs.
Yes. No, that entire.
No. How do I plan to scale my business? Well, we're scaling already. People want the more they hear about AI and then they hear AI in a box and they think AI in a box. And you tell them, is OpenAI secure? Is Google Gemini secure? Is Claude 3 secure? Nope, it's not. There's middleman attacks that can happen all the time. So it's not HIPAA compliant. Oh, how do you get AI secure? Well, we put AI literally in your company as a physical product on your premises. Nobody's gonna get there unless you give them access. So
That's beautiful.
yeah. That's just as easy. That's one of the easy selling points. I mean, I can get into so
Yeah.
many more. And then with a lot of these products getting easier and easier to use, it is getting easier and easier to use. Do you have plans to compete with large corporations? Yes, they're not HIPAA compliant. It's as simple as that. It's easy. All right, your products come with their own UI and internal app. So yeah, you can. We've got in-house developers. We build it in-house. I mean, what I showed you now, that was just built on Gradio. That piece of code is, I'll tell you now. Just the UI part of that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines of code.
You shitting me.
That's it.
Like the specific one you sent me?
Yes, 10 lines of code.
Wow. All right. That's way more simple than I'm making it.
It's extremely simple. Okay, so how do you arrive at the pricing model? Simple. So how many people we replace in a business, or how many workers it can do work for in a business, is how much, and what that workers cost per year is what we would price it as a once-off cost, and then do, because we're putting AI in a box there, we always have a maintenance cost, 3,000 to 4,000 to 5,000 US, depending on how big the box is and how many GPUs are in there.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so let's say, for instance, it's just doing base cost of one person or two people. It's just doing two people's work as a bare minimum. Bare minimum, what we're looking at, average cost of paying a person is what, 40,000 US a year. So two of them is 80,000. So
50.
yeah, 57 is cheap then.
Very, very cheap. They're winning it. They're winning instantly. Right off
Exactly.
the bat, they're saving money, or
And
however you want to look at it.
and that's how I price everything. So we price on how much work is it replacing human work with.
Yes, this makes sense. I'm wrapping my head around this.
All right, reflecting on your journey, what advice could you give someone starting out in AI automation and LLM models? I would say, fuck, you're starting already late, but try and get as quickly as possible into AI automations and LLM models. If I were you, spend some money on a GPU. If you can get a 4090, that would be your best bet, because then you can do the most development on it. Get a 4090, download Olama, start playing with LLMs. Start playing with your own versions of LLMs, and then now package that into a service or a something that you want to sell to people. I mean, sometimes we don't even have to sell AI in a box. We can just sell the code that AI in a box runs on top of, and we can sell that as a service per month. But then we're charging 10K a month for the service.
Yes, yes, exactly. Makes sense. Messing around with that specifically, I need to start doing, because I've been messing around with Make, with everything, and that's
Yeah.
fine. But the whole lot, I haven't gotten into it all.
Make is great because you can still even plug your own LLMs into Make. But just remember also, make sure secure tokens. Get somebody that's at least a Python developer that knows secure tokens. That you definitely need to get, and you can't run this business by yourself. You're gonna have to have people to help you. It's easy to start
Yeah.
off first, just to make that sale. So once you have that sale, give them a month and a half t- um, times that you can have a MVP in a month and a half. Within that month and a half, you'll be able to find a developer and pay them to do everything. And if they're good, work with them all the time, because then you know work's gonna be easier to give them. Okay, this and this and this and this, and maybe even employ them full time, because that's what's gonna happen.
Yes. that's something that I want. I is necessary without a doubt. Because with like I have savings, but that's why I've been trying to really. That's why I'm focused so much on the first sale type of stuff, is so that I can feel way more comfortable throwing some money at stuff like that, GPUs or
Yeah.
employing people or Fiverr and finding the right person to do more complex stuff for sure. I'm not a developer. So.
No, you don't need to be. That's the thing. You don't need to be a developer. You just need to make sure the first things first. Whatever's gonna happen, you need to know how to sell. That's
I,
that's
I,
the biggest skill you need.
yes, 100%, 100%.
Alrighty. Let's move on. Okay, we've done that. Are there any lessons learned that's a pivotal moment in your career that significantly influenced in your business approach? Yes, this is something you are eventually gonna get into is investors because people are gonna want in on your business. They are fucking sharks. Give them as little as possible if you need funding, because a lot of those times you can come up with a good. If you have something that's gonna sell, they're gonna want in. And I can tell you, your friend that does the sales is eventually, if he's making enough money, he's gonna want to rather spend money on you to make sure you can build more of these products that he can sell them. So get him in as an investor, but make sure how you deal with him is also another case in its own. And if you can, watch a lot of Shark Tank and Dragon's Den to make sure how to pitch to investors, how to do pitch decks, how to do business plans. Brian actually helped me with Live Plan. That's a good way of actually building business plans and stuff like that. So that's a website that will do actually a lot of the stuff for you, your graphs and everything. But just make sure you have all your data, and then you'll be fine. It will bring up, it will create an awesome pitch deck for you, and will create an awesome business plan for you. So I think liveplan.com is fucking brilliant. That's the only, I would say, online tool I would recommend. Other than that, everything you can do offline with these LLMs. So I use my own LLMs to do my work for me. I mean, why not? I mean, the AI space. Why do I have to use online tools when I have the shit right there? And I'm gonna give an
Yes.
example of this. One of the tools that I sell in AI in a box is called Whisper. Whisper's on Hugging Face for free, but people don't know this. But the service that you're selling them is, I can give you a tool that's like Descript but better, and that can do translations and can do longer audio and video uploads or sections of time. So I know Descript you have to pay for the enterprise version if you want to do anything 7 hours and above, any sort of recording that big. Now you can just do it and not pay for monthly subscription. I mean, after let's say 10 months, it's paid for itself, because 10 months of the
Yes.
enterprise subscription would pay for the entire AI in the box thing.
Yes. That makes plenty of sense. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so why not just use Whisper? Spin Whisper up on a box. They just connect to it via a simple UI, and they just throw, okay, I need this translated. Throw the thing in there, it translates it, get the file. And I'm going to translate and transcribe this entire video as well. So I'm going to put it as a subtitle file for you as well. So you can just take the video, slap the subtitle file in, and you can see everything that we spoke about. Or you can read through the subtitle file yourself, throw that in AI, ask me what is the best points out of this, and then get that best points. That's just now a quick suggestion for you. So I mean, there you go. That's another selling point.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you protect your intellectual property? So this is where I got a guy that I used to work with, called Shakir, and we call him Sharky for short. And Sharky he's the best Docker guy that I know, like DevOps guy. And all our stuff that we do, that we create, he makes it into a Docker container, and he encrypts that in container. So even when we put that thing down in a corporation, or wherever we put this thing down in a box, they can physically get into the box, but they can't do shit with the code because they can't see it, because it's
That's
encrypted.
awesome.
That's how we protect it. And have you ever faced any challenges with copycats? Well, not yet. It's still very new. Nobody knows about this stuff. That's why I said be first to market. You don't have this type of problem. Yes, you'll deal with copycats afterwards, but can they do the best type of product or as good of a product as you? And it's simple. Once you have copycats, up your price. Up your price immediately. Because they'll say, oh, but I can get it for cheaper. Yes, you can get it for cheaper, but are you going to get the right product? I'm first to market with this thing. How long do you think I've been in research with this stuff? Don't you think my products are so much more better? Obviously, pay more.
So you think it'd be the opposite? A lot of people would. That's counterintuitive to how a lot of people think about that.
The thing is, absurdity marketing is also another point. So look at Apple. Apple does not lower their prices. What do? New iPhone, new iPhone comes up the price by another $100. Why? Because nobody else makes Apple products.
So yeah, you're not Apple. Apple's been in the game for far too long for anybody else to be Apple.
Exactly, and that's what you're gonna do. So you're gonna have your product. You're gonna be first to market there in your space. You're gonna be building these things out, and eventually gonna get a copycat, and then they're gonna sell this thing, and then your competitors are gonna, or your clients are gonna say, but we can get this from this and this and this, and then you tell them, okay, yes, you can get them from that, but is it the product gonna be as good as the product that I'm giving you?
And also, when you have a copycat, a lot of times can make your brand even look better or make you look more expertise. Because why else would they be copying you? They're not going to copy not doing a good job.
100%.
You're going to be best in the space. So.
I mean, I can give a good example. So in South Africa, we have okay, maybe because this let's just call car company H, right? Car company H sells this car that's from country starts with a C, right? Copy. We know where the copycat stuff comes from. So this car company is sort of copying brands like Ford, like Toyota, and what we like to do is we like to off-road a lot, and we've seen how company H with their vehicle not performing as good because obviously they brought out their own brand that could supposedly do as much as these brands could do it, and it just can't. It's just not the same type of quality. They get stuck, things break down, and then you have to wait for parts from country C to come through. So it's a lot more turnaround time. So yeah, that's the thing with copycats. It will never be as good as a product as what you're doing because they're copying what you have, but you in the front bleeding edge of this tech. So you're gonna do your research before them. You're gonna already have 2 steps ahead of them. So whatever they can copy, you already have something in the bag later down the line that they don't even know about that they still have to go and copy.
Yeah, and they're reaching bottlenecks that you've already kind of gone over and figured out.
100%. All right. Can you share a story where your product significantly transformed a client? Well, I can tell you about my first client that already transformed her business. She's a doctor. I got there, got an injection in the butt, and I asked him, well, I see your practice is quite empty. I'm the only client here. Don't you want to do something on your website like a digital agent where it will coax people to come and see the doctor but act as your secretary duty and that can answer as much questions to their ability, but also say, okay, I can't answer this correctly, but this is what doctor said. So the entire chatbot works, or digital agent works. They say, hi, I'm Judy, how can I help you? Do you have any questions about Dr. Danse? And then Dr. Dan, and then whatever the question is, and say, okay, Dr. Danse said this, but please come in to see her to confirm that this is, because we'll need to actually have a proper checkup. And then the people come in, and her leads immediately from one person a day, she's at 15 to 16 people a day.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And now what if you find like this that doesn't have much web traffic? Do you help with that on their end, like some SEO stuff?
No. Well, I can now.
Yeah. Exactly.
I can do the SEO now for them for free if I wanted to. I mean, it will cost me 24 seconds.
Yes.
But yeah, before no, I never used to do that. I would say, listen, get in touch with this SMMA company that can help with SEO. SEOs can at least take 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, yes, that takes time.
Hmm. Based on current suggestions. Alrighty, so let's see. How do you approach building your team? What key qualities are you looking for? So building my team is simple. I pay people per project. I don't pay them on a monthly stipend. I don't give them a salary. Nothing like that. They get paid per project. So the only person that's got now a salary is Ivan. Ivan's my developer. Ivan is the person that's gonna go into the company with a flash drive. He's being paid 3,000 US per month, and that is from only one of the clients. The rest of the clients comes into my pocket and the company's pocket, and that gets obviously distributed to do other costs, or it will be net profit. But our approach people is simple: skills. If you can't provide a skill, you don't deserve to be here. Simple as that. So let's say, for instance, I need a developer, an Android developer. So I'm busy working with now an Android developer. I will pay them per job. So let's say, for instance, this job the client wants, um, let's say, for instance, the SEO thing on their phone. Okay, cool. I'll get the Android developer saying, this is the APIs. Build this thing into a nice app, and let's see if the client likes it. Cool, then we go ahead with you, and then we'll give you obviously the payment. Then next client down the line, if there is any sort of Android development, yes, then I'll go back to that person. But other than that, I don't pay them a monthly stipend. I don't pay them any salary, nothing like that. I'll pay you more per job, but that's it. If there is any maintenance costs or any upgrades on the, if they want any changes, sure, that will go into my invoice to the client, and then I'll pay that person. Okay, I need now this changes and that changes. So we'll find somebody maybe on Upwork, but I've got somebody local now that's doing that for me. That's how I would look at skills. But first, test them out and say, listen, you have 2 days to build this for me. If you can't get me at least a working, it doesn't have to be an MVP, but you need to show me that this thing's working. And if it's not working within 2 days, find someone else.
Yes, so iterate quick.
Fail fast. Fail fast. Mm. What strategies do you use to educate potential customers about the value and utility? Okay, that we went through. Time.
Yeah.
Just sell them that it's gonna save them time. It's the easiest part, and it will. There's no doubt it's gonna save them time. What do you see? What does your 5-year vision look like in your business, and what key milestones are aiming for? 5 years. 5 years at least want to have at least 100 to 200 million dollar company. So yeah, I'm swinging big for the fences. I'm swinging for the flipping crowd in the baseball field. That's how far, or even past the stadium. Because this is not gonna stop. And if I have with my AI in a box solution and some of the APIs that we build upon them that we're gonna sell as services, by year 2 we're already gonna hit the $100 million mark. So year 3 we could do, maybe in 5 years it's possible to do $1 billion. I'm gonna aim for it, but yeah, why not?
If you aim for the stars, at least you'll get, a little bit below. You don't want to aim for the moon. You want to aim way out.
Exactly. So one of the things I've learned is people don't make the goals big enough.
I completely agree.
And that's what I want you also to do, is aim and make your goals much more bigger than what it seems, and then go for that. Because then if you don't set that goal, fine, just the one before it is reachable. Reach that one first, but break it into steps.
Worst comes to worst, you're doing, you're already 10 times, your dreams are already 10 times further out than everybody else's. Yeah. So worst comes to worst, you're already out in space somewhere.
Exactly. So I mean, fuck, out in space, that's already far more than anybody else's.
Exactly.
I mean, how many friends do you know off the top of your head that's made $1 million this year?
Very few.
Exactly. Why can't you be one of them?
Yes, I completely agree.
All right. Given my growing Familiarity with tools like Power BI. I use Power BI business intelligence platforms. I just incorporate this into technology. So Power BI, there is some API plugins that you can use to. So Power BI is obviously going to give you your graphs from your data, right? Use that with an LLM. This is already something that I just thought now of the fly, on the fly with. So a lot of the times Power BI is based on data that you feed it, and the only way you're gonna get that data is obviously dealing and working with clients. So you're gonna have to get the data from them, and then you can slap that into Power BI. What you can do also is slap it into the LLM. Let the LLM spit out some data into another database, like refined data. So get the trash out there, get all of the shit for all the years that they've been doing data, run it through the LLM, let the LLM refine it into clean data or usable data, put that into, let it again, send it again to a database, and then plug that into Power BI, and you can get much more better graphs. So you're going to be able to do forecasting.
Exactly. And see, now where that question comes from is one of my buddies has been a data analyst for 7 years, making 50 grand a year, and I've been showing him how to do this stuff. He's been helping me with some automation stuff, but he's an expert with some of this stuff. So that keep discussing with you and with him, kind of, because that's something I don't see offering. Is like that's in my LinkedIn. Throughout talking to LinkedIn people, I've been approached for more than just like more people were coming to me looking for business intel, and it wasn't even something I was offering. So it was like seeming like something that people already wanted.
Exactly. So I would say we could even white label something for you that you could sell to him, or that he could use, and he could sell it again off on something. But I mean, we'll talk about that further down the line of how you can use Power BI, because I know a lot of companies use Power BI, but they don't use it effectively enough to actually do forecasting. And forecasting is one of our MVPs that we're actually building, like a full on forecaster. I mean, I'll give an example. Um, I don't know why I'm doing this, but you know what? It's fine. It's for this video. It's for educational purposes for you, and it's for people in the network also to watch and see. So what we're going to use an LLM for forecasting is we're going to take every single lottery number, that winning number that exists out there, and with its dates. So we're going to do like a prediction analysis tool of how, let's say, what's the probability of of the winning numbers that's coming out now, and then sell that as a service, as a subscription model. That's a easy, even an easy sell.
That's a very easy sale because people prefer gambling and having that than they would doing any sort of work. So I think gambling services are great. People love that.
And now they just see, oh wait, I can get the possible lotto numbers. Maybe it works. Who knows?
It would be quite comical if it did. You made a bunch of millionaires out there.
Oh, then it's that'll be, I would say I would use that stories onto the, I would add that to the website to say this tool has actually created millionaires.
Yeah.
So that's, and then yeah, that would be a good one. But I don't see why you can't do it that side as well. So I mean, use some of these examples, take it to task, build an MVP, scrape. Even if it's like in one lottery company, if you can get hold of all of their winning numbers from when they started, put that into something, put that into a big file as a data file with its dates, and let a large language model read through that, build a loader on top of it, and now you build a little online tool with a payment gateway in front of it to say, to use this tool you need so much per month, $15 per month, which is like nothing.
Yeah.
And you would make your millions probably in this next 2 months.
Yeah.
Just on that.
Yes, and I mean the promise is what sells in the gambling situation, so people would jump on that pretty quickly if they see it.
So yeah, that's why I'm laughing. I'm giving away like all the fun stuff that I want to do in this $1 billion. I mean, this is gonna be a couple of $1 trillion marketplace that I can tell you. All right, and to your last question, what are some practical applications or success stories you've encountered where business intelligence significantly contributed to In the AI automation sector. So with Vision Africa, no, not in that's in Vision Africa with Vision Insurance, the repo rate thing. Whenever there's some sort of change to the repo rate, that obviously changes interest rates and all those type of things. That so what we did was with them, it would look at their database of users, their clients, how often they paid, if they paid well, if they made any missed payments or any skipped any payments, any one of them would be flagged as, let's say, a yellow payer or blue payer or red payer or something like that. So then we would at least flag yellow payers, and then we'll look at repo rate, and then look at what their cost is per month, and do a probability analysis of would that person not pay this month type of thing, and then actually send them an email to say please send an email out to this client, and then they can use the ChatGPT function of it and ask what would the best way to keep the client on, to say, listen, we're gonna give you something for free this month, and then that's another way of ensuring that the client always stays on, hence still having return of investment, etc., etc. You know where this is going.
Yes, no, that makes sense to slow down the churn a little bit there.
And they, well, as long as they keep clients, they get paid, and that's just using AI automation. That's a good example of using an AI automation tool. But I'm actually trying to get away from that company now, because I want to get away from the. I'm selling off all our voice flow stuff so we can only go into the LLM stuff.
Okay, and why that? Why exactly?
Well, our voice flow accounts only bring in now 12,000 US, whereas LLM stuff is already over the 100K.
Yes, yeah, that's a no-brainer. That makes sense.
So like 10x, 10x. I mean, the biggest thing in our suite that we said we'd sell as a put in down into a corporation is about 267,000 US, and we haven't even hit or sold that yet, but we're going to,
Yes,
and it's only going to increase. It's only going to get more expensive as we add more applications to this thing, like pre-built AI applications that people can just log on to an interface and then go interface with it.
yes, that makes sense. And that's what's beautiful about all this is it's fast moving. There's constant upsells, and especially if you have creativity, like you're on the fly with this. So like I come up with a business intelligence question, and you're like, oh, I can see where I can input this there to make it better. And that's constant. I'm sure you're probably like, that's something you kind of have to push out of your head sometimes when you're building one thing, you get sidetracked because you're like, oh, now I can write this down.
Yeah.
And that's amazing because so the thing is with the cannabis community that was awesome is that okay, I knew everything about it. I was like way ahead of the game, but then everybody jumped in. There's not much innovation that could happen. There's innovation that could happen in the growing of the product, but it wasn't like that's like hardware. That's developing new hardwares and systems and feeders and all this. And so I made plenty of money, but then the that's why I've been looking to jump into something that there's a bright future ahead. Because part of the reason I'm out of that industry is that it went to shit. It was like the market got oversaturated. There wasn't any more innovating. There was no spark in my mind. And I even watching you and listening to you talk about this, I can tell there's constant, never-ending new stuff coming up, opportunities, and people are more interested in it than ever. So that's exactly what I'm looking for, to be honest.
Yeah, man. And what I can say is, once you're there, once you're up to speed, just fucking make the money. You're not gonna regret it. I mean, this I would say, in today's age, it's the easiest way to make money right now, online with this. Even with this, get the skill, get it there, sell it. I mean, man, the sky is not the limit here. The stars are not even the limit. You want to talk about
Yeah,
getting to different galaxies here?
yeah, far out stuff or like quantum physics level
Yeah.
out there stuff. And that's why I'm in my head right now after this call. I'm going to keep listening to it and go over it again. But I'm going to think about a battle plan for me because not only do I need to learn the more in-depth technical stuff with Olama and kind of creating my own LLMs, but I also need to focus on learning the sales side of stuff. So I might start off kind of with the sales side of stuff, and then as I maybe get on a call with you guys with these clients or with somebody, try to learn as I'm kind of making sales, because obviously I'd like to make some money and I'd like to learn as I'm going. So whatever's, I also don't want to be the copycat. So I want to
No, you don't have to be the
try to.
copycat. I can tell you this much. You make your first sale, I will be there to help you right alongside you to make a product. And then we can always talk about revenue afterwards. But first things first, let's make that sale, get that sale in, push out the product, have the MVP for a client, and then we'll then start upselling that client.
Okay, I'm 100% on board with that.
So yeah, I mean, all you need to do is just, I'll get my dev team to spin something up for you. No time. I mean, now with how we doing, I know you must have seen Devon already there. There's an open source one called Evika. There's GPT Pilot. We've got our own flippin' AI devs now.
Yeah, and you have a whole ecosystem of products helping you build these products, and that's way ahead already. So I think like sales, like that's where I'm gonna probably focus on quite a bit right now.
So go for it. Let me know once you get your first sale. Contact me immediately. We'll set up a session, and then let's go through it. Let's build something for the client.
100%, and that's yeah, that all makes sense. I'm very talkative. Like right now, I'm just listening because you got so much to say. I'm not even gonna say shit, but I have a crazy warm network. I have a lot of different people that I've been associated with. Everybody who's in the cannabis industry, and I'm in town. People know me as is, so I have a list of at least 10 people I can go reach out to and talk to. So
Alrighty. Well, there we go.
so
Anyways, Paul, I'm gonna end the call now. I'm gonna stop the recording and then I'm gonna send it to you immediately. As soon as it's done, I'm just gonna throw it through a handbrake and then I'm gonna throw it through Whisper and get your subtitles as well. And then there we go. So you should have it in the next, let's say, 20 minutes.
all right, thank you very much, Rin.